Happy Saturday, everyone. We are live for the Gameweek 11 deadline stream. How exciting. Question is, for me this week, am I taking my first hit of the season? I'll talk about my team in a bit of detail in a second. But if you're around in the chat, come join me for a coffee. Say hello. Victor Frankel, big ups, mate. Happy Saturday. Hope everyone's doing well. I'm a little bit cold in my flat today, so I've got my big quarter zip on. It's quite cold in the UK today. Happy Saturday to you too, Alexandru. Great to have you in the chat, my friend. Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited for this week. We'll let a few more people join in. We'll get on with things. Hope you're both well. Hope you're both well. I've got the usual. All the stats. Great to see that Victor's doing well. We've got all the stats to go through. Top players for expected points by position. If you caught my ultimate guide video during the week, some of the expected points data has been updated. It might have even been updated since the time that I did the video or even did the graphics. So we'll have a look at Draft Town as well. But yeah, have a look at my team as well, because I have a big decision to make this week. I've either got to start Charlie Taylor or take a hit, basically. That's my call this week. So I'll be interested to know what you guys think about that one. We'll have a look. We'll have a look on stream a bit later on. Yeah, mate, Alexandra, it's been the same in the UK. We've had a not so bad where I live, but quite a lot of the south coast has been hit by a nasty storm. Nicholas, good morning. Hope Singapore is treating you well, my friend. Oh, we got the score predictions as well. Should we have a look at that quick? It's nice to have a little look at the scores, isn't it? Right, so I do follow Man United for my sins. I don't think they're going to get a win against Fulham. I think that'll be a 1-1 draw. I don't know what you guys think. Please let me know in the chat if you agree or disagree with any of these score predictions. Just something I like to start the streams with. Brentford and West Ham. I reckon West Ham just edge it. I'm hoping that Bowen comes away with some returns from that one. Brentford are looking good though, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't be surprised to see that a draw or a Brentford win. But I just have a feeling that West Ham win that game. Crystal Palace and Burnley. I don't see Burnley winning that game. I just don't think they've looked very good at all. So yeah, Crystal Palace I think win that. But Eze will be back in the team. Will he start? Not entirely sure. Probably not this week. He probably starts next week. For that reason, I think Palace, they just win that 1-0. They don't score too many. Everton and Brighton. Brighton have looked really leaky defensively, although I do think they'll have just enough to beat Everton. I reckon they'll win that 3-2 was my prediction for that. I mean, I don't see Man City going any other way than thrashing Bournemouth, really. I think 4-0 could be quite kind for how that game could play out. Shame, really, for Wolves and Sheffield United. Like, Sheffield United are probably the worst team in the league at the moment, and I just see Wolves, yeah, keeping a clean sheet on that one. I've gone 2-0. Newcastle and Arsenal. Had that been at the Emirates, I'd have Arsenal to win it, sorry. But Newcastle at St James's Park, I think, just have a little bit of X factor. I think they'll probably edge that one 3-2. Nottingham Forest and Aston Villa. I've gone for Aston Villa winning that one, even though they've had a fantastic home record. I still think they'll win that one away. Liverpool and Luton. I mean, I just don't see any way that Liverpool don't absolutely thrash them. They've looked really good of recent. I can't get them in because I just have no way of fitting them in my team. But if I could get to Darwin Núñez this week, I'd be all over it. I think he's going to do really well. And then Spurs and Chelsea. I think Spurs just win that one 3-2. I've got a feeling that Chelsea do all right in that game. But I do think Spurs will win it. So yeah, that's my score predictions. Aaron, good morning to you, mate. Happy Saturday. Got my coffee in my golden goal mug. And as usual, I have a cold because I've been swimming last night in a pool that's full of chlorine. Right, let's have a look at these top players for expected points then. So goalkeepers, Alisson leading the way this week. I don't think that's a real surprise. You know, Liverpool likely to keep a clean sheet against Luton, and the differential between Alisson and Ederson is the fact that Alisson usually comes away with saves bonus. So, yeah, I mean, I'd agree that he's likely to get more points than Ederson. Ederson, similar sort of story, just less saves. I think he's heavily backed to keep a clean sheet against Bournemouth. Jose Sar's quite a nice shout. Sheffield United away, I think Wolves probably keep a clean sheet in that one. Vicario, yeah, I mean, he's done really well this season. I would put Johnston slightly ahead of Vicario in my mind. I think Crystal Palace are very likely to keep a clean sheet in that one, in my opinion. Got Emiliano Martinez, Flecken, Raya, Onana, and Leno as the top keepers. Defenders will obviously, share some sort of teams with what we've seen with the goalkeepers, really, because it's based on likelihood of keeping a clean sheet. Got Trent Alexander-Arnold, number 1, 6.1 expected points. Virgil van Dijk in at number 2. I'd actually say Tsimikas, for me, in my mind, would be higher than the Man City players. Probably even higher than Virgil van Dijk, to be honest. So, yeah, just my mind. Obviously, Draft Town have it slightly differently. It's full of Man City defenders. Matty Cash, Trippier and Luka Dean. Midfielders, I mean, Salah leads this pretty much every week because he is just so good. Foden and Mbeumo are up there as well. But Mbeumo, nice to see him the third best midfielder according to expected points. Son is up there, less expected points than normal because obviously it's Chelsea, what would be deemed by sort of most of the models as a difficult fixture. Diogo Jota, Szoboszlai, Maddison, Diaby, Mitoma and Bruno Fernandes round off the midfielders. Onto the forwards, Haaland's number 1 for those, Julian Alvarez in second, although I'd personally put Darwin Núñez ahead of him. Watkins, Wisser, Wilson, Ferguson, Nketiah, Højlund, and Edouard. Captaincy, a little bit of chat about this one. I've got some stats that I've showed in a video I've made this week just to try and help you pick who you think is the best one. But currently, according to Draft Town, Haaland and Salah are level for expected points. So, how do you call it? Foden, Mbeumo and Son are the next 3, but I think there's enough between, the likes of Foden, Mbeumo and Son between Haaland and Salah that, I mean, Haaland and Salah are the 2 outstanding captains, aren't they? Let's be honest. Where did my stats go? I've lost them. We'll load them up. I'm giving you a little spoiler of the clean sheet odds here a sec. There you go. My bad. Got the graphics wrong there. So, a little Haaland and Salah comparison then. I thought what I'd do is I'd have a look at their historic data for the 10 games they've played so far this season, and also a little bit of analysis about their opponents. Not that I've really gone in depth. Luton away for Salah, and Bournemouth at home for Haaland. I'd obviously say the home fixture for Haaland is probably better. The fact that he plays at home compared to Salah being away, I think, is better. Haaland in particular, I think, is a player that really tends to perform more strongly at home than he does away. And if you look at the expected goals conceded of both teams, it would suggest that Luton are a slightly stronger defence than Bournemouth are. Particularly, I would say, at home. I think Kenilworth Road's obviously Luton's not fortress because they've been getting beaten there pretty much every week. But you know what I mean? They have a little bit of an extra factor there than they would away from home. So I'd say fixture-wise, Haaland wins it. And when you look at the underlying numbers, they've got a similar level of returns. 13 attacking returns for Haaland, 12 attacking returns for Salah. Obviously, Haaland's weighted more towards goals, and Salah's got a few more assists. When you look at those expected returns per 90, there's not a whole lot in it. And to be honest, there's not a whole lot in it. And Salah would ultimately score, of course, more points for scoring a goal than Haaland was. But for me, I think I'd just favour the fact that Haaland's got a better fixture against a worse defence, and he's at home. So I think for that reason, personally, I think Haaland is the better captain. But I'd be interested if you answer the poll at the top and let me know in the comments who you think is the best. Just be a sec. Shaniel, mate, good to have you in the chat, my friend. I very much enjoyed the F1 qualifying yesterday. Yeah, it was good fun to see the weather coming in. That was quite exciting. The absolutely gargantuan black cloud that ascended on the track. That was really exciting. I already know you're picking the poll. It doesn't tell me who's voted for who, by the way. I just get a percentage. I can't actually see who's voted for who. Just saying. Big ups, Mr. Blanky. Aaron, I don't know if I said hello to you. Hello, Aaron. Ben, good to see you, mate. Clean sheet odds, always nice to have a quick look at the clean sheet odds. Man City, the only team more likely than not, according to Draft Hound, to keep a clean sheet, 56%. Liverpool, 48%, Luton away. Aston Villa with 36, joint with Wolves also on 36. Man United on 33. Brentford, Burnley, Crystal Palace all on 31. Usually my rule of thumb is any team below 30% to keep a clean sheet, I really wouldn't want to start their assets. So the likes of Tottenham, Arsenal, Brighton, Newcastle this week. I mean, Trippier with exception because he's good for attacking returns. But I mean, if I had a Newcastle defender, I probably wouldn't want to start them. Which is where my dilemma comes in, which I'll show you in a sec. Yeah, any team below 30% I'd kind of avoid this week. So my team is definitely looking ropey. And to be honest, I think I'm going to have to start Charlie Taylor regardless, which I don't mind. Crystal Palace at home could keep a clean sheet in that one. I've got a Pedro Neto issue, so I need to sell him. I think I'm just going to go easy and buy Anthony Gordon. Cole Palmer, he looks good, but he's got really tough fixtures. Hwang, if that's correct, Wang Hee-chan, is another player that a lot of people have got their eyes on, and he would easily slot into my team. Sheffield United away is obviously a great fixture, but a lot of his returns have been assists from Pedro Neto. I feel like Pedro Neto not being in that Wolves team will really negate their open play sort of threat. Do like Craig Dawson as an option, by the way. I think he could do well from a set piece. So I need to do Neto to Gordon, and that will be my one free transfer. But after that, I've got a defence of Charlie Taylor, Dan Burn, and Matty Cash. Dan Burn's got Arsenal at home. I don't think he's going to score any points in that game. So the question is, do I take a hit, a -4, to do Dan Burn to Tsimikas? That's the question I've got to ask this week. Yeah, I like it, Shaniel. Good move. Neto to Hwang. That's interesting. I've just I poo-pooed Hwang a little bit there, I'm afraid, by saying that his returns have been heavily reliant on Pedro Neto, in my opinion. So I'm not sure how Wolves are going to be from open play. But yeah, I'm thinking about Burn to Tsimikas for a hit. I'm definitely going to do Neto to Gordon. I think that's just makes total sense. And then it's got to be, I think, Burn to Tsimikas. But we're starting Charlie Taylor. That could be quite interesting as well. Although Crystal Palace at home, I mean, I don't think that's too bad. I'm going to leave Udogie because I'm quite happy with him. Because next week, I think he's going to play next week. And I'm pretty sure he has Wolves, isn't he? Yeah, Wolves, Villa. Oh, they are. Oh, they're not great, are they? They're not that great. And then, to be fair, Dan Burn's got Bournemouth next week. But I do have Lascelles on my bench as cover, so I could do Udogie to Tsimikas and Neto to Gordon. That could work. That could work. Oh, I would start Gahey. 100% start Gahey, mate. I think they equally have similar sort of goal threat. Genuinely, I know Gahey's not scored yet this season, but Pinnock, he'll just score 2 or 3 goals a season, as I think Gahey will, to be honest. And in terms of clean sheets, I mean, West Ham or Burnley, I'd back the team playing Burnley to keep a clean sheet. So personally, I like starting Gahey. So yeah, anyway, I think we're going Tsimikas him for Udogie for a hit, and then I'll start him over Dan Burn. Bournemouth's form is terrible, mate. Oh no, I'm not captaining Salah. I've not sorted my team yet. I will be captaining Haaland. I've just gone through. You've missed the old debate, Ben. But I've gone through that. I think Haaland's my favourite captain. I also don't know who to start between Porro and Trippier. Ooh, that is quite tough, isn't it? I'll help you with the draft time expected points. Gahey in for Burn, Tsimikas. I like both of those moves. Player comparison. I'm not number one overall, by the way. This was for the video that I made, looking at the number one overalls team. Udoggy's touch and go, which is the thing that bothers me, to be honest. The thing is, if I took... I'm just going to go back to my team a second. Because if I took Burnout for Simicast, I could start Udoggy, and then if he doesn't play, Charlie Taylor comes in. And then I've got Lascelles as cover for Newcastle. Botman's had his setbacks, etc. So I get my clean sheet points from him. And then I've got Simicast on the side if I want it. Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah, absolutely, Ben. And he plays on Monday as well. So there's a couple of days from now until he actually plays. So it's hard to say if a player's going to be fit, isn't it? We're going to do Porro to Trippier. Porro v Trippier, sorry. Interesting. So this is what Drafthound says. 4.5 expected points for Trippier, 4.2 for Porro. 9% score chance of a goal for Porro, 7% for Trippier, 20% chance of an assist. It's quite interesting, that, isn't it? I would back the Spurs clean sheet a lot higher than the Newcastle one. The algorithm just loves Trippier, though, I think. It's all quite similar. FPL Diamond, good to see you, mate. I don't think Doggy will come on for a one half. I think he's either fit to start, because he's so important for that Spurs team, the way he plays that inverted fullback role. I think he's so important for that team. So I don't think he's going to do that. I was just saying, sorry, Ben, I didn't see your team. I was trying to have a little break from Twitter yesterday. As for Udoggy, yeah, I think he either plays or he doesn't get a single minute. So I think I could just start him, and then burn to Trippier for the burn to Simicast for the hit. I'd quite like. What if I do Neto to Hwang? What does that allow me? Is Hwang better than Gordon? I'd go Areola this week. He does have 3 yellows. That wouldn't put me off, though. 4 would put me off, but 3 is okay. Gordon's obviously already had his ban, hasn't he? So he's not a risk. There really ain't much in it between the stats. And I know Newcastle have a tough fixture this week. But then they play Bournemouth, Chelsea, Man United. He could easily return against Chelsea and Man United. Everton, that's another good game. And then after Spurs, it's Fulham, Luton, Forest. And then it's the Christmas break and wild card again. You'd probably get rid of him for Liverpool, Man City 2021. But that run from 12 to 20 is pretty decent, isn't it? Apart from the Spurs game. If I had the money, cannon fodder, I think I'd buy Mitoma. I think I would buy Mitoma. Or Mbumo. If you have the money for Mbumo, I'd go to Mbumo. Yeah, I think I prefer Mbumo to all of them, if you can get to him. think it's just going to be Gordon, mate. It's going to be Gordon. And then Burn's going to be Simicast. It just makes sense, doesn't it? If Simicast doesn't start today... oh, man. Can you imagine if Simicast doesn't start? Well, you look at Mitoma's fixtures. I mean, look at that. Everton, Sheffield United, Forest, next 3. It's ridiculous. His stats are decent. I am not a massive fan of that, mate. I'm afraid. Watkins, he could do alright, couldn't he? Not for me, but he could do alright. First hit of the season could be coming. The first hit of the season could be coming. Yeah, that was the swinger for me, Dan. When you look at I did a little comparison. There's nothing really to choose between it on the underlying numbers and stats so far this season. It's all in the fixture for me. In Bournemouth are slightly worse defensively than Luton are, and Haaland's at home and Salah is away. So for that reason, I think I'd go Haaland. Sorry, folks, got a bit of a cold going on. What I would say as well with the goal scoring odds, that's not the full story. If you question Salah, because he's got half his returns this season are assists. Well, quite a substantial amount of his returns are assists. City are unbelievable at home. They are unbelievable at home, which is, I just think it's such a factor. Hello, Sidemen Short, mate. Good to see you. Good to have you in the chat. Action, good to have you too, bud. Yeah, Neto to Gordon, Burn to Simicast. I am really thinking about it. Ben, doing God's work, mate. Last week was a Rugby World Cup final, wasn't it? Yes, I did. It was a good game. I found the South. I think you're from South Africa, or is that Shandiel? Shandiel's. I can't remember who's from South Africa. Someone is. Forgive me. But the South African player with the long blonde hair, I found really, really annoying, but he was fantastic. He was like an absolute pest. I think you're selling. Why am I thinking of selling Burn? Faf de Klerk, that's him. He was unbelievable, but very, very irritating. Yeah, I predicted a Liverpool 5-0 win, but I don't think it's actually that bold. That's my score predictions. You tell me if any of those are actually that bold. I guess we could just do Neto to Gordon, not take the hit, just sit on my hands. As painful as that will be, I mean, I could do that. I think West Ham will just edge it. Got a feeling Kudu's playing in the form that he's in. I think he could be the X factor in that game. Oh, is DCL an option? I think Shah will play, yeah. I don't think. The more I think about it, the more I think that's a bit of a luxury move. Who are we looking at? I forgot on DCL. I wanted to have a look at his stats to see if he's actually obviously scored a decent goal against West Ham, but West Ham were rubbish, to be fair. I mean, he's been all right, and he has played. He's strung 4 games together now. I wouldn't be surprised to see him get injured, but the fixtures aren't amazing. Is the only thing I'd say. He could do all right though, to be fair. Yeah, I could just do Neto to Gordon and then sit on my hands. Just play Charlie Taylor. God, that's painful. It depends, Sidemen Shorts. It depends what the rest of your defence is looking like. If you're not happy with it, then sell Gabriel. But if you can get away with it, you may as well just save the transfer. No, I'm afraid not, Cannon Fodder. I just don't have I've got the capacity for football, swimming, and a little bit of other sports. But yeah, to follow the Cricket World Cup, I'm afraid it's just out of my capacity. I'd start Udogi, and then I feel like Udogi either plays, he starts, or he doesn't feature at all. I should probably start Burn over Charlie Taylor, shouldn't I? I should probably do that. No, I think I'm being silly, Callum Fodder, to be fair. I was just thinking 1 week, obviously Simicast is better. And that was making me think, is it worth a hit? But in reality, probably not. I personally would start Gabriel. So I think of the 2 teams, Newcastle are more likely to keep a clean sheet than Arsenal. That'd be my opinion, with the game being at St James's Park. Do you reckon it should start Taylor over Burn? Taylor over Burn? Probably. It makes sense, doesn't it? Let's be honest. Have Burnley actually kept a clean sheet yet this season, though? No clean sheet so far. No clean sheets. I like Udogi to Gehi, kind of makes sense based on there. Yeah, good point about Burn v Saka. That makes it good for Saka as well, doesn't it? Although who did he play in the champion? Well, he didn't lock up Mbappe because Mbappe was on the opposite side, but he had a good game when he was 1-on-1 against Mbappe, to be fair. Oh, Charlie Taylor. Yeah, and then if Udogi doesn't play, Burn comes in for Udogi, which is probably likely, let's be honest. Let's go with that. So Neto to Gordon. Nice and easy. That'd be the only move I make. I might even do it in a second. Just check Twitter, see if there's any news about him. Watch Anthony Gordon not play now. I think it's possible, Eunice. I think it's definitely possible. Who's Watkins got? It's bold. It's not stupid. It's just bold. It's just bold, I would say. Honestly, cannon fodder, I really like that transfer. I know getting rid of Anderson seems like a luxury, but if you look at him v Simicast a second, I'll look at Salah's fixtures because obviously they're the same. Ooh. They're not that amazing, actually, are they? Maybe if you don't like the thought of selling Anderson, instead of buying Simicast, you should buy Gahey. So go Neto and Anderson to Mbumo and Gahey. I really don't think there's much between Gahey and Anderson. I don't. It's obviously just the price. I think both of them have similar like attacking upside. There's 0.4 million in it in terms of price. The only reason Anderson's got more points is because he's played one more game and has slightly better. Like he's got more attacking returns, but when you look at the underlying numbers, so Anderson 0.8 xg, 0.7 expected assists. Gahey is on. It's not too far off, 0.6, 0.2. So there's not much in it between the two. And doing the move would save you the cash to be able to go Neto to Mbumo. So I really like that move. I wouldn't, if you don't like Simicast, go for Gahey instead because they're the same price. I don't think Udogi comes on as a sub. I think Udogi starts or he doesn't feature at all. That'd be my thoughts. Out of the two, I prefer Hwang because Douglas Luiz has 4 yellow cards. But I wouldn't buy either of them, I don't think. I'd probably go Cole Palmer. Odegaard, I think, is fine. I think cannon fodder, if you... I would just be worried about Mbumo for future game weeks. And I feel like you would almost kick yourself if you didn't do the Mbumo move this week. Especially for Neto. If you have the opportunity to get Mbumo in for Neto, I think you should definitely do it. Quick look at the old Twitter. God, please let me Phil Neville. Yeah, Mitchell is, I think, will be fit. We could go Mitchell as well. He's even cheaper. I personally prefer Gahey just because he's absolutely nailed. It does feel like a luxury, but for your team, I think it makes really good sense. Good luck, cannon fodder, mate. I hope it goes well for you. I don't think, regardless of how that outcome turns out, based on the information that you've given me, I think that is such a sensible decision for your team. Yeah, if Mbumo doesn't score and Gahey concedes, so be it. I think that's great, personally. I'm changing that right now so we don't have any more questions. We are captaining Haaland this week. FPL Rue, big ups, mate. Hope your stream went well. Sorry I couldn't catch it. I was getting ready for mine, but I saw you were going live. Hope that all went well, mate. Twitter at... There it is, at Golden Goal FF on the old Twitter, mate. That's me. God, the Neto injury is so heartbreaking, man. Still can't. I'm still sad about it. Sheffield United away this week if he was fit. Could you imagine if he was fit how good my team could be this week? I could do Udogi to Simicast and then I'll be laughing. Yeah, Dakshin, I can have a look at your team. Gotta have the Twitter blue, mate. You can abuse me for it if you like, but I actually quite like having Twitter blue. It's quite useful. By the way, this is the #1 overall team in FPL at the moment. I did a video on it this week. That's what it looks like. Yeah, so... Oh, excuse me. I just got a sneeze. I'll mute myself so you don't have to hear it. No one saw the tissue on my upper lip then. It happens to the best of us. Yeah, I'll have a look at the action team. So what you need to tell me is your FPL ID or your team name, and I can get it on the app. So Dakshin is up next. Yeah, Mitoma's a good option, mate, but I don't think I'd sell Bowen for Mitoma. I don't think that's worth it. As for this team, I mean, I would not change a thing. I would not change a thing about this team. Would anyone do anything with this team? Obviously, João Pedro is a bit of a risk, but you'd probably know that bringing him in. I just wouldn't do anything with this team. I'd captain Haaland, but I mean, yeah. Wouldn't do anything. Cannon fodder, because you were next, I will check yours. So this is what DraftHound says your optimal lineup should look like. Ooh. Oh, you can... Oh, no, you can't quite do that. You said something to me. Cannon fodder, were you the one... Oh, yeah. Yeah, Gahey. Looking at this team, immediately I'd do... Oh, you got Gabriel as well. I'd almost do Gabriel to Gahey because he's got Burnley next, but then he might not play against Burnley. I'd personally do Gabriel to Gahey, and that should give you the cash to do Neto to Mbumo. Start double Crystal Palace defence, which I think is fine. Double Crystal Palace defence along with cash this week. Then you've got... Oh, yeah. Definitely do that, mate. Rather than selling Anderson, keep Anderson, sell Gabriel. Gabriel for Gahey. Well, you could even do Gabriel for Simicast, if you fancy that. Yeah, Gabriel to Simicast, mate. Gabriel to Simicast, Neto to Mbumo. That's the way to go, in my opinion. Right. Jim was up next. Just trying to get through everyone's in order. 8745892. Just check 8745892. Who am I looking at here? Jim's team. Sorry, I'll catch up with the chat when I've had a look at these teams. Thank you everyone for joining. What would I do here? Oh, Neto to Gordon. And then just bench Gabriel. Yeah, easy. Neto to Gordon, bench Gabriel. Happy days. Victor Frankel's up next. 7540960. We're getting through them quickly because I've got quite a few. Oh, mate, there's nothing needed doing to this team. Just leave it. Just leave it. Roll your transfer. Everything's okay. That's a decent starting 11. Yeah, wouldn't do anything. Probably make Archer first on my bench. Other than that, there's nothing to do with that team. Won't be a sec. Just got to sneeze again. I don't know what happens to me. Every time I go live, every time like I get up quite early on a Saturday just to get the graphics ready, I feel absolutely fine. I don't sneeze, I don't have a cold or anything. Then as soon as I line up here with my coffee, ready to go for a live stream, I start sneezing. I don't know what's going on. I can't remember whose team I'm looking at. I think it might be Victor Frankel's. And in this case, I wouldn't do anything, mate. Just leave it like that. That's the starting 11 to go for. And then Captain Haaland. That'd be what I'd do. What we got next? Eunice Fitness 83229. Saw a bit of chat about Bowen there, just in the bottom of the chat that I can see. I would keep Bowen. Just don't rush him out just because he's had one blank. Wouldn't do anything with this team either. Potentially Gabriel to Simicast. You could do that. But other than that, this team's lovely. Gabriel to Simicast would be the only thing I'd think about. I think I've already done Jim's team. Francis Dagandan, I think, is next. Yep. Do yours. 339415. Ooh, there's a bit to do there, but you got 2 frees. Just do Neto to Gordon and start Cash, Trippier, Gahey. That's what I'd do. Yeah, just do that. Neto to Gordon. Roll your other free transfer. Oh no, we've got Archer up front. If you did Neto to Cole Palmer. Ooh, didn't mean to do that. Won't be a sec. I'll just be a second, boys. Back in a sec. Right, I'm alive. I'm fixed. Right, I was looking at this team. Managed team. Zoom out so we get the... Just seeing if there was a way you could avoid... getting Bumo in. .8. It's really tough, that. Francis, I am really sorry. I'm a little bit unsure of what to do with this team. I'll come back to it. Anyone in the chat's got any ideas? He currently has Neto instead of Mbumo. I'll come back to it, Francis. Yeah, I'd definitely give Bowen some time. Not so template. Good to see you, mate. John B, I would play Flecken. Why not? Even though I predicted West Ham to win it. I think Flecken's more likely to get saves. Gabriel to Gahey. Oh, Neto to Gordon's not free. Okay. Although I'm thinking of Matoma instead of Mbumo, mainly because of Matoma's amazing fixtures. Yeah, I'd go with Mbumo too. Eunice, big ups, mate. I like them too. Anthony's next. He put in a team IDs. Let's have a look at that. I've asked Father Christmas, by the way, for a new camera. So hopefully you'll see my face in 4K at some point soon. This is Anthony's team. There is absolutely nothing I do with that. Just leave it. Oh, you do have a free transfer though. But nothing in the bank. I think you're almost in burn transfer territory here. I mean, what do you do with this team? I don't see anything. Genuinely. I'd just leave it. I'd burn a transfer. Because there's nothing, not even anything on your bench you can improve. Because you got nothing in the bank. It's just nothing I'd do with that, to be honest. No, I'd keep João Pedro. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with the chat. I'm still quite far up the way to the top with people's IDs. Not so template. I'm guessing this is your team. I'll have a look, mate. There he is, look. There he is. I think I'd start Estupinian over Saliba. But other than that, Bruno Fernandes. Ooh. You could do Bruno to Saka. That's the only thing I'd suggest. Even though he's got Newcastle, he's probably better than Bruno. Other than that, mate, I wouldn't do anything. Not telling. I think you need a bit of an operation on this team. I'd do Lukic to Cole Palmer because he starts and you can afford him. I think, yeah, that's all I'd do. Lukic to Cole Palmer if you can afford it. And allergies coming back again. FPL allergy. Right, we're back. Hey. It happens, right? Bit of tissue on the top lip. It's happened again. It's quite embarrassing. Please don't remember that. Like at Eunice Fitness, Pete, his team. Let's have a look at yours. 23599. My stepdad's surname is Appleby. God, what a good team this is. I would really consider, because he's playing centre defensive mid alongside, I can't remember who, probably Souček this week with Kudus in the 10. I would consider, with the money you have in the bank, I would consider Ward-Prowse to Mbumo. If you didn't want to do that, I think Gabriel to a Palace defender is a good play, or Udogi to a Palace defender, whichever one you fancy. That's what I do with that team, Pete. No, Bowen's not playing a deeper role. He's on the right wing. I don't think there's anything deeper about that. Bob's Lasagna. I'm pretty sure this is Bob's Lasagna's team. I'm allergic to FPL. I'm allergic to it. Probably start Ariota over Leno. I know the points say you should start Leno, but I wouldn't. I just wouldn't do anything with this team. I think it's absolutely fine. I'm sure Shah will play. Almost sure of it. What's going on? Right, I'm going to attempt to open a window, let some fresh air in to see if the FPL allergy will go away. Right, I'm pretty sure I got your team in there. John B, you're the next one. If I've missed any, just crack it in the chat again. But I'm pretty sure I've got everyone so far. 1s, 4, 6, 4, 4, 7, 8. Souček, definitely. This is John B's team. I mean, I just don't see a transfer there. I don't see a player in that 11 that I want to get rid of. I think that's absolutely fine. Mickey, 526 883. I think Estupinian's going to play. Although 4-4-2, I've not seen many teams in a 4-4-2, I must say. There's just not an obvious transfer here that improves your team, in my opinion. You could do Gusto to Gahey, actually, and start Gahey over Saliba. You could do that. Lise Jackson. Shall I do Bowen to Mbumo so I have enough to do Lamptey to Gahey? Just use the one. Just use the one. I reckon you'll regret selling Bowen. I really do. If you sold Bowen this week, I think everyone's going to regret it. No worries, Francis. Sorry, it was quite hard quite hard to work out your team then. I can imagine it was a bit of a headache for you. Oh, I think that's everyone's teams done. If I've left anyone out, please let me know. Opening the window helped, by the way. The FPL allergy is reducing. It's getting cold, though. That's the only thing. It's a bit cold, though. Might have to do the deadline stream in my jacket. Should you see if we've got any team news, Twitter leaks, blah, blah, blah? Let's have a gander. Gahey over 2 of them. You reckon he's... Okay, you reckon it's too early for Estupinian. Fair enough. Cheers for the follows. I would start Gahey. I agree on Neto's absence. I think most of like Hwang's goals have come through Neto, and he's so important for that Palace, for that Wolves team. Yeah, I'm nervous about Fulham away. CFC MK. No, we haven't had any team news just yet. Don't know if anyone's seen, but I am a season ticket holder at Bristol City who sacked Nigel Pearson this week. Pretty much everyone knows who Nigel Pearson is. And he's just a lovely man. And this is what he said to us. He's in a hospital at the moment because he's got some real problems with his back. He's been on crutches for our last few games. Yeah, it's looking like we're going to regret sacking him, I think. He doesn't take any prisoners, which I don't think our owners particularly liked. Yeah. So I think that's why he got sacked. But our owners are saying it's down to results. But yeah, that's the F1. Look at that scene. That's crazy. It is a pretty chill deadline, though. Gianni is correct. Hoyland. Oh, I just don't know about him, man. I don't know. Francis, my number one manager, if I was recruiting for Bristol City, would be Dean Smith. He's not that exciting, but for the level of club that we're at and what we need, I think Dean Smith would be the manager, personally. But if I could have money, no object, I'd have Kieran McKenna from Ipswich. But, yeah. Take out Neto for a 4, -4, or start Lamptey. Or I think I'd take Neto out. Gordon Hamilton, thank you very much for being the first time watching. I appreciate that. Usually I'm healthy. It seems I've got an allergy to FPL this week. I don't think I'm... That's the thing, Dan. I don't think I'm actually ill. Ooh. I would do, if you can, I would do Mbumo. Gordon, I can most certainly rate your team. You have to tell me your FPL ID or team name. I'll find it in Draft Hound, crack it on the screen, and we can have a look at it. I've got an allergy from United. Probably do, to be fair. Got all the stuff. I've got some Beckonase that's meant to help, but it's not been helping. Got tissues. They've not been helping. Don't know what it is. Oh, you put it up there. My bad, mate. Apologies. It's quite hard to read every message. I do apologise. I will occasionally miss the odd one. Gordon. Just Gordon. Just. I don't think I'd make a transfer with this team. I think this team is not, it's not the kind of team that I would pick, because you've stuck with Archer, but with the way it's structured, there's not an easy transfer you can make. So for me, Gordon, I would roll the transfer and then potentially make a couple next week if you have the opportunity. Dan, I like that. Darwin Núñez is the one this week for me as well. If you can get to him, he is the one. 100% Darwin Núñez. I really like him. Yeah, I don't mind that. Meath Man. Jim, good night, mate. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Sorry that it's all occurring in the evening for you. That must be a bit of a... To have an FPL deadline before I went to bed, that'd be mental for me. Christ. Come on, the City. Where's getting the badge in? Anyone see getting the badge in? Oh, right. There's getting the badge in. 3 points for us. I think Bristol City will get 3 points. They got Sheffield Wednesday, who are, despite our managerless position, Sheffield Wednesday are even worse. Onana. You got to go Onana. I reckon you got to go Onana. Go Onana. Yeah, go Onana. I don't think Onana is the only United player you could possibly consider at the moment. And even then, it's rough. But I think you might as well go for him. Whereabouts are you from, Francis, for those times? That's an interesting deadline situation you got there, I will say. Australia. Very good. But you do live in Australia, though. If you look outside right now, well, which I assume is about 6 p.m. ish. If you look outside right now, I imagine it's quite sunny. Here it is not sunny. Here it is cold and grey. So you do have that going for you. Manager listen at Southampton. Who do you have? Who's got Southampton at home? Be careful Googling BBC. Where's the championship? There it is. Oh, Millwall. Millwall. Yeah, that's quite tough to be fair. Oh, we got another team ID. Leo Lee. Let's have a gander at that. Would I do anything with this team? That is the question. No. No, there is just nothing to do with that team. Captain Haaland, roll the transfer. Easy. Easy. That's such a nice team. I wouldn't do anything with that. Roll that transfer, mate. I'm just going to shut my window because whilst now I'm not sneezing as much, I'm cold. Might actually have to go get my jacket. Think of my jacket, by the way. It's pretty swanky, innit? Little checkered sheep. It's absolutely freezing in my flat now. I've had the window open. Deadline streaming in my jacket. It's cold. What's the temperature in Bristol at the moment? 9 degrees. Feels a lot colder, I must say. Feels a lot colder. Start Areola or Flecken. I've got to go. Okay. Flecken. Why not? Everyone and their dog has got Areola, so I'd start the keeper that's a bit different. Because why not? Don't think either team keep a clean sheet. To be honest with you, mate. As much as you can give me banter about Man United, I don't think they're getting relegated. But it could be Bristol v United in the Premier League, depending on who we get as our manager. I'd start Trippier. Just why not? I think Trippier's amazing. Yeah, Flecken, mate. Just go Flecken. Why not? Bit of fun, innit? Bit of fun. I'm gonna Google my my allergy symptoms quickly. See if I should be worried. So I've Googled my sneezing symptoms, and it could be one of two things. Because I've got a really bright light, that could be the cause, to be fair. That's pretty reasonable. Although I get through most of my videos that I record without. Interesting. Otherwise, it could be psychogenic sneezing, which is usually triggered by light, a very full stomach, sexual ideation, or orgasm is the other cause. So just saying, FPL, either I have an allergy or I get very excited by it. Right, I got to catch up with the chat. Is it worse Son to Salah, Trippier to Baldock? Or Dusty Tones? That is a lot to take in. That's why I've been sneaking off screen every, 10 seconds. It's not to sneeze, lads. Neither did I. Not so template. Neither did I, mate. It's the coat. It's the coat that's done it now. I haven't benched Dan Burn yet. You're right. I do think that's probably what's going to happen, Sidemen Shorts. Southampton and Leeds will be the two, and then I reckon Leicester and Leeds will be the two automatics. Ipswich will play Southampton in the playoff final, and I think Southampton will just edge that game. I'm glad you guys are enjoying the sex chat. Make sure that I don't get banned. I won't mention it again, but I thought that was quite funny. In fact, I'll Google it so we can share. Here it was. National Institutes of Health. Someone would assume. There you go. Sneezing is considered, you can read that, to be a physiological defense mechanism against irritation. Some people do that, actually, to be fair. After, doing the business, they can sneeze. Just saying. I don't. Right, I need to sort my team out, don't I? Charlie Taylor's coming in, mate. You're coming in, Charlie Taylor. I'm taking a gamble on Udogie. Personally, I don't think Newcastle keep a clean sheet. I don't think that's going to happen. Second of all, I think Udogie either starts, plays 90, or plays at least 60, or just doesn't play at all. So for that reason, I think it's worth just starting Udogie, and then someone comes off your bench if he doesn't play. And then I think I'm just going to lock in Neto to Gordon now. I want to make the move. I'm not going to get any early news. Let's just do it now. There we go. It's not a bad team, is it? Come on. That's not horrendous. Could be a lot worse. Cheers, Victor. Thank you very much. Yeah, Gordon's in for the long run, mate, at that price. I think come game week 16-ish, then it could be time for Cole Palmer. But even then, look at those fixtures for Gordon. Cole Palmer could come in for Bowen, maybe. Or Madison, I don't know. Not really thought about it, to be honest. I play Trippier. I'd always play Trippier. He's just got so much more attacking upside. The one thing I would say about Cole Palmer, though, is with Nkunku coming back into the team, playing the number 10, which is the position that Cole Palmer has been playing so far for Chelsea, what does that mean for Palmer? Where's Palmer going to play? Palmer on the right. Or instead of Sterling. Do you think Cole Palmer's better than Sterling? Oh, I don't know. Or unless Sterling goes on the left and Cole Palmer plays on the right, I guess. Poch really does seem to like Cole Palmer, though. I'm not going to repeat that comment, Sidemen Shorts. But you have a right to your opinion. Thing is, with Nkunku, he's a striker, isn't he? So you have to have him over, like, Watkins, for example. I'm just not sure. I'm not sure I fancy that. Did he even play? He hasn't played a single game for Chelsea yet this season, has he? Oh, right. Oh, I got you, Sidemen Shorts. I see where you're coming from. That was not my intention, though. I'm just going to reply to this tweet, to be honest. Alexandru, I had my window open to stop myself from sneezing. I thought it'd be a good idea to get some fresh air in, and it worked. But it's 8 degrees centigrade in the UK, so my bedroom for a period of time turned into 8 degrees centigrade. So I just, it is quite cold in the UK. I'm starting to warm up though, so the coat will probably come off soon. But yeah, the window open did help me, so I feel like it was a no-brainer. You see that? That's quite funny. I quite like the jacket, to be honest. I know I get some pelters on the stream for it, but personally I quite like it. It's a unique jacket. Not many other people have a jacket like this, just saying. It's very comfy, very soft as well. My girlfriend is a fan. I wore it on our first date. She was like, "Oh, I really like your jacket." I was like, Raucous Mashford. Thanks, boys. I appreciate that. It's a very comfy jacket. Can you do can you get Twitter, can you get dark mode on laptop? Can you do that? Because I'm on my PC here. Display, is that it? Hey, there we go. I like the dim mode. We'll go dim mode. How's that? Do you prefer dim mode? Red. Dear old bitties. Yeah, I can actually say that without getting in trouble. Here you are, Daniel. Don't worry, my mum calls me Thomas when I'm in trouble as well. Oh, something's happened there. Oh, it's not even that. It's not offensive though, is it? Is this you? Yeah, here we go. Martinelli owner. Interesting. I'd just start Martinelli over Cole Palmer. Or would I? Would I start Martinelli over Cole Palmer? The only question is, do you start Martinelli with this team? There's nothing else you can do. The question is, do you start Martinelli? What does the chat think? Anyone in the chat want to pipe up? Is there anyone in this team that you would start Martinelli for? It could be Højlund, it could be Palmer for me. The rest of them, I think, are locks. Yeah, who would you start, if at all, Martinelli for? I'm not sure I would start him. Højlund to Darwin? Oh, that is quite good. I do like Højlund to Darwin, actually, mate. Do like that. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. I'm nodding. I'm nodding in approval. I like it. You do know it would just happen. When you sell him, he'll return. So he's definitely returning this week. But if you don't sell him, he'll blank, and then if you do sell him, he'll return. That's how it works. That's how FPL works. Nah, Palmer to Doku's are very, very risky, in my opinion. It's a risky old boy, that. That's a risky move. Sell Porro, burn, or roll a transfer. I'll just roll. I think those two are fine. Nunez, great player. Man United are a terrible team. I wouldn't be surprised if that were the case, to be honest. Or Nunez is winning the Ballon d'Or. We'll see. I think there are a few. Nunez definitely has the potential to, right? If he scored most of the chances he got, he'd be like considered up there with Haaland, I think, in terms of levels. But he just misses too many sitters, doesn't he? He's really good though. Like dribbling, he's probably, to be honest, he's probably better on the ball than Erling Haaland is, isn't he? Darwin Núñez, I think that's fair to say. He's really good at dribbling and taking men on, as well as it's just excuse me, his finishing is just not as cutthroat as Haaland's is. But athleticism wise as well, they're probably quite similar. Like they're both absolutely rapid. Haaland's probably a little bit more powerful, I'd say. But even then, Núñez is a right handful, isn't he? And yeah, his goal midweek was amazing. And also with Darwin Núñez, a lot of his returns for Benfica, he played a lot better in the second season than the first one. And that's obviously what we're kind of seeing at Liverpool now. I think with Darwin as well, chance conversion is really, you see it at all levels of football. It's just a composure thing. Like in training, players would finish these chances all the time. I'm sure of it. They'd absolutely lap them up. But it's all about composure. And when you're playing in front of 60, 70,000 fans and you've got an easy chance, in your head, you're just thinking, I can't miss this, I can't miss this. And then you think too much about it and then you miss. That's kind of how it works. So I feel like he just needs to stop thinking so much and just go by instincts. Blimey. Oxford United's got a traveller encampment in their stadium, so they're not allowed to use their... Blimey. That's not great, is it? Yeah, Núñez, see, that was one of the best assists in football history, that, wasn't it? Hitting the post, getting the assist. Beautiful pass off the post. Ben Hemsley. Who's Ben Hemsley? Karen Thompson's having fish for breakfast. Don't hate it, to be fair. Soup. Like a bit of soup. Bit of soup on the stream. What? Oh, they put an effect on when she did it, so you can't actually tell when she got the top off. Sorry if any of your girlfriends or you own a pair of Uggs. That's not my opinion. Favorite Nando's, mate? I think I just have like the butterfly chicken breast, medium, fries or the chips, the Nando's chips, and garlic bread. That's what I usually have. Sometimes, if I'm feeling healthy, I'll get some greens, just some vegetables, because it's a bit vegetable-less. But yeah, that's what I usually get. Chicken, chips, and garlic bread. It's my usual. I'll tell you a story when I've finished sneezing again. So when I used to go away for work, you get 30 quid in an evening on your expenses for a dinner. I think that's probably commonplace for most corporate jobs. But you can get a boneless Nando's platter with, I think, 3 or 4 sides for 26 quid. Which is obviously, I'd never buy that out of my own money. But on work expenses, I would. I just have, like, you get a butterfly chicken, lots of little fillets and stuff. It's incredible. And you get 4 sides with it. So I get chips, mash, garlic bread, vegetables. That's my dream Nando's. But it costs 26 quid. So, yeah. Another thing that I'd only ever get on work expenses, by the way, is a Five Guys. I remember just going to Five Guys with my girlfriend one day. It was the first time I'd ever been. I just don't know why, but I'd never tried Five Guys before. I put my order in. I think it was a double cheeseburger. Double cheeseburger, just some chips and a soft drink like a Coke, right? And it was over 20 quid. Over 20 quid. So we left. I agree with you, Eunice Fitness, Onu Doggy. Sorry, I've not been keeping up with the chat quite so well. A Ardit Matthew. Sorry if I've said that wrong. I don't mind it, although I think there's probably another player in your team that's a better alternative to sell than Burn. Louis Ashton, I personally don't like it, but when you look at the models, particularly FPL Review said to me that the best transfer I could make in my team this week was Neto to IU. Personally, I did Neto to Gordon. I just think it makes sense. What's wrong with mash? Who doesn't like mashed potato? Aguero hit me. What are your options? By the way, I need to do shopping after this, so I've been writing my shopping list alongside while it's fresh in my head and what I need. Anyone, any snack suggestions to crack on my shopping list, by the way? Yeah, well, we have a gander. We'll have a gander, see if they still do it. We're getting a bit distracted from FPL now, aren't we? It was a sharing platter. There it is, yeah. Bonus platter, there you go. Chicken butterfly, 4 bonus chicken thighs, then 4 regular sides. It's incredible. It's incredible. They still do it, and it's still 26 quid, to be fair. They've not actually put up their prices. It's actually quite cheap, isn't it? Nando's isn't actually that expensive. Who knew? There you go. Sorry, I've been looking at Nando's instead of FPL. Foden to Salah, plus Trippier to Simicast, Saka to Salah, Botman to Lamptey, Salah. Oh, that's a lot going on. I like Foden to Salah and Trippier to Simicast. I like that. Although Nando's, to make it at home, isn't actually that hard either, I will say. Just buy a couple of chicken breasts, put loads of sauce in it, marinate it overnight, because you can buy the Nando's sauce from supermarkets, although I'm not sure if you can from where you live, but peri-peri sauce is not that hard to make. Marinate it overnight, put it in the oven, or grill it, whatever. It's not that hard, I promise you. You can make it at home. I personally, this week, would say... Oh, it's 50-50, isn't it? Johnny, it's 50-50. I can't tell you. I don't think there's a best option there. Is there a chance that Foden doesn't play this week? Louis Ashton, I would, if you're 55k by playing the way that you have played all season, I would continue to play the way that you have played all season. So if that means not captaining Haaland because you don't fancy it, then do it. Oh, Darwin, 100%. What's Foden's stats been like, though? Has he actually been that good? Bloody hell, he has started all but one game. But his stats have not been that amazing, have they? 2 goals, 3 assists, 9 starts. Not ripping up any trees. Honestly, mate, I've no idea how Nando's became big in the UK. I feel like there was a period, probably about 10 years ago now, to be fair, maybe even a little bit longer, where it was just culture. Like, it was the cool place to go for food. I don't know how it got to there, but it just was for a period of time the coolest place to go. And it got featured, like there was just some music about it as well. There's a famous, I'll share it in the chat. There is, I won't play it because I'll get copyrighted. But there was, I don't want to get copyrighted. But there is the Nando Skank by Example and Ed Sheeran. We'll get rid of that. And that kind of blew up and made Nando's quite popular as well. That's how I discovered Nando's. You can watch that when you get a chance. I think I'd bench Palmer of that lot, Louis. I personally don't think Nando's is that good. But it does the job, doesn't it? Yeah, spaghetti and beans, that's exactly what I've done. I've already made the transfer. Yeah, that's exactly what I'd done. I had the same issue. I just went Gordon, mate. It's easy. Like you say, it's not very exciting, but there's too many question marks about the likes of like Cole Palmer, because just with the difficult fixtures he's got. Huang, I'm not sure about him. Yeah. A bit unsure about Zuma. Well, you could get Gehi. Gehi or Simicast are options. But if you've got to take a hit, then I think you should just start Zuma this week. I answered that, Sakib. I would bench Palmer. Not getting Gabriel. Why would you buy Gabriel? Wouldn't be buying Gabriel this week, that's for sure. Be looking to sell him, if anyone. Unless you accidentally typed getting instead of selling. What? Minus 20. What? Oh, blimey. Fulham fans playing Ipswich. They're not playing Ipswich, they're playing Man United. Oh, I played at Ipswich midweek. I bought cheese, wine. God. Typical. What else? Any team news? I haven't seen any, mate. That's why I just went on quick Twitter. Same road with Udogi. Yep, let's pray. If Gabriel scores a header tonight and Udogi starts, comes off 58th minutes. Oh, could you imagine? Could you imagine? Spaghetti and beans, I've already had a look at some teams, but considering you've just joined, I will have a look at yours. I cannot remember what the name is, though. I'm afraid you're going to have to tell me that. But yeah, I can have a look. If you're not a player, what? Captain Hoyland. If you want a Captain Hoyland, mate, you go ahead. But I am not recommending you do that. 6216. Yeah, mate, your team's looking very similar to mine. Neto to Gordon. And then personally, I think I'd start Charlie Taylor. That's what I'll be doing. I think I already am, aren't I? Yeah, start Charlie Taylor. Neto to Gordon, start Charlie Taylor, Bosch. You could move Zuma onto Lascelles. That could be a move. I'm doing Taylor over Burn, mate. Just my opinion. That's up to you. But as you can see with my team, Taylor is starting over Burn. Gotta be honest, I'm not sure there's a whole lot more FPL to talk about before the deadline. I might call it a half-ass if that's all right, lads. Just because I think I've gone over everything. Looked at everyone's teams who's been here. Taylor's going to concede. I don't know. Crystal Palace do not strike me as a team that will destroy Burnley. Pick ups Victor, mate. Eze could be back. Big ups Eunice Fitness. What's my fan team looking like? I'm really happy with my fan team. I'll just change my screen a sec because I'll have to log in. So you didn't see my password. I'll just log in quick. Right, there we go. We're in. Let's go back to that. So they're both identical. So this is my fan team this week. I'm very excited about it as well. Best of luck, not so template, mate. I won't be long heading off myself. I've got to do a few bits and then go to the game. That's my team, Ben. I am personally very happy with it. Don't really know how I can improve, to be honest. I've got no transfers. I used 2 transfers to do Solanke to Nunes and Trippier to Tsimikas. I thought I'd take the risk because Nunes is just looking so good at the moment. So yeah, I went for that. Ward-Prowse, I'm happy. Happy to keep him. He can quite easily become Eze. So yeah, not so template. Quite easily become Eze in a couple of weeks' time. But right now, I'm happy with that. Foster's out again, isn't he? Or are you just changed up your formation? Personally, wouldn't do Salah captain over Haaland. I just captain Haaland. Fair enough, Ben. Fair enough. Fair enough, Ben. The one thing I would say is bringing in players a couple of weeks ahead of time has never gone well for me. Just saying. Because they get injured. That's what usually happens with my luck. Bristol City just using our assistant mate, a chap named Curtis Fleming, who's fine. But we'll need a manager soon. Although I have no idea who we're going to get. Absolutely no clue who we're going to get. Lampard was favourite. The Oxford United boss has been favourite. Eustace, the former Birmingham manager, has been favourite. Our chairman did an interview on local radio yesterday saying that the names that are the bookies' favourites are not the ones that he's considering. So I've honestly got no idea who the manager is going to be. I would personally, if I had the choice, I would take Dean Smith. I think he's been Norwich manager, hasn't he? But personally, I'd take Dean Smith because he's been there and done it. And I think he's the exact kind of personality that the Bristol City team needs. But I don't think we'll be able to afford him. I wouldn't mind Frank Lampard either, but yeah. Lumped. I play Porro. I mean, Chelsea, they could keep a clean sheet, right? I don't think it's out of the realms of possibility for Chelsea to get a clean sheet. Nathan Jones, man, he'd suit Millwall, to be fair. I'm not sure he'd suit Bristol City. Yeah, Joe Edwards looks good. Yours was Gary Rowett, wasn't he? He was linked to Bristol City as well, to be fair. Eustace, Rowett, Lampard, and the Oxford manager have been the favourites for the City job. Up the Bristol. Should we wrap up warm? There we go. We're football ready at 10 a.m. Actually, scarf's quite warm, isn't it? Don't mind a scarf, you know. We've got a coat and a scarf on inside. It's that bad. Some of the songs that fans come up with, Sidemen Shorts, are incredible. I don't have any hate towards Millwall. Although it does mean I have to buy a Millwall shirt. I don't actually own a Bristol City shirt either. I don't really spend my money on club merch. This scarf was a free one when we played Man City in the cup. The club kindly put one on all of our seats, so I got a free one. Yeah, Diaz news is terrible. Is his father? I haven't caught it yet. Obviously, we know what happened with his kidnapping parents. It's just horrendous, isn't it? Oh, he's back training. Oh man, could you? it's good to see him back playing, I guess, but it's crazy that he's back in England with his father still being kidnapped. Poor guy. Obviously, absolutely horrendous, but I mean, I personally stay in Colombia, unless he thinks he's in more safe being in England than Colombia, I guess. Yeah, I can't pretend to understand that situation or know what he's going through, so I'm probably best not to comment, aren't I? Oh, is that true, Harmony? Is it? I haven't seen that. Oh yeah, they said that. Oh, that's fantastic news. Man, like, I'm not gonna lie, I don't mean, if there's anyone from those nations in this chat, then fair enough. But I had a couple of mates that were considering doing South American like travels on their own. They were looking at going through like Colombia, Peru, all those places. But they are terrifying countries, especially if you're like a white dude, because they probably think you're American like drug agents. But if you haven't already, I'd recommend watching Jason Fox. He's got a Netflix documentary about the narcotics gangs that operate in South America, and it's really eye-opening to see how bad it is. It would completely put me off. It would completely put me off ever going to Mexico as well on holiday, because Mexico is also a really dangerous place. Oh mate, it's such a horrible, like, imagine and I don't mean this in like a derogatory way to people who live from those countries, but sometimes people can complain about Great Britain a lot. I'm assuming most people in this chat are from Britain. I know we got a few people from South Africa who probably don't have it quite. It's not the safest place at the moment, I don't gather. But it makes me feel very fortunate to have been born in the UK, where we don't really have to worry about that kind of thing. There are dangerous places in the UK, don't get me wrong, but most of the time you can walk to Tesco without getting robbed at knife point. Yeah, it's scary, Ben. And like these people that will rob you at knife point as well, they have killed people in the past. So yeah, a random British tourist sacking them off in the jungle would not be a concern to them. These people are really dangerous. So yeah, I can imagine that was terrifying for your mate. They were kids as well. Yeah, I'm not surprised. But is in your mate was a kid at the time, or the gang? Yeah, they don't care. And it's not, but I don't think like inherently the people are necessarily evil. They're in such like desperate situations in the country, or under such duress by like these gang members, that they are left with no choice but to do that kind of thing in order to either survive, well, basically survive, because the gangs will probably like top them off if they don't do those things. So, yeah, it's an absolutely terrifying existence. It is a mad place, isn't it? And yeah, that Jason Fox documentary actually, like, you can't sympathize with some of the stuff these people do, right? Like, it's not, you can't ever say it's good, but you can, hearing the backstories of all these people, it's very understandable of why they go into those walks of life. I remember him saying, like, I don't know why we're on this topic, but it's quite interesting. I remember him talking to, I think it was a hitman for a drug cartel, and they were talking to him about why he doesn't just do a normal job. But he was saying that he could earn, well, by working for the drug cartel, $150 a day, whereas working a normal job in the place he lived in Colombia was $150 a month. Like, could you live off $150 a month? I'm not sure you possibly could, but $150 a day is like good pay. And if you wanted to survive, which would you choose? So yeah, some people are pretty desperate. So you can understand how that sort of thing comes about. Not that I would ever condone it, but you can understand it, you know? But yeah, sometimes I feel very grateful to be sitting in my nice, safe flat. The weather might be a bit shit, but I've got internet. I'm talking to you good people. I feel very grateful sometimes for the things that I've just gotten lucky with, I guess. On that note, I might end the stream soon, guys, because I don't think there's a whole lot more FPL to talk about, really. I think everyone that's usually in the stream has been asked their questions. I've hopefully helped them out. I've sorted my team out. Whether it's good, bad, and different, I'm not too sure, but I don't mind it. I just don't think there's a whole lot to talk through, and I don't want to waste people's time, basically, just chatting rubbish, because I don't have much more to say. I think we probably end it there. Yeah, shoot some more questions. Excuse me. Shoot some more questions my way if you've got them, but I'll probably leave it there if that's all right, folks. I will enjoy the deer hunting, don't worry. We've got Sheffield United, so it'll be owl hunting this afternoon. But I quite like owls, so probably not so much. We'll go on the old full screener. Where is it? Yeah, Sheffield Wednesday are awful. Watch us lose. Lil Whiskey, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Alexandru. I appreciate you as always, mate. Ben, appreciate you. Cyben Schultz, appreciate you. Harmony, appreciate you. Dan, appreciate you. Victor, appreciate you. Appreciate everyone. Thank you very much. Good luck with your game weeks, and I will probably have a video out Sunday morning at some point. So yeah, stick around. Up the city.